our 1 week 6 memory of note from each of us. Look, I want to start off looking at Monday Night Football because I got in last night and ended up watching a good amount of the first quarter and then fell asleep and woke up and watched a good amount of the fourth quarter and overtime. And it is truly astonishing to me that how poorly both of these offenses are performing at the moment. I mean, decent defensive performances on both sides, but there were a few points, particularly with the Broncos, where there have been 3 or 4 drives this year, like the game-winning drive against San Francisco, the touchdown drive in the first quarter or second quarter of this game last night, where Russell Wilson has done Russell Wilson things. He's got outside the pocket, or he's stepped up under the pressure. He's thrown deep down the field. The touchdown drive had 2 completions over 25 yards. Outside of that, he was averaging something like 4 yards through the air on the passes he was making. And I think after the touchdown drive, I think he went 5 of 18 for a net of about 54 yards once you took the sacks into it as well. And I just don't understand how poorly this scheme is coming together with the quarterback. I think last week we talked about and compared it a little bit to, like, you know, when Manning first turned up in Denver and they tried to impose a scheme on him, or when Brady and Arians didn't agree at first there. But I can't quite figure out if it's Russell Wilson wanting to stay in the pocket for his health and to redesign the kind of player he is, or whether it's something that Hackett's trying to put on him. But right now you spent $245 million on a guy who is performing like a bottom 5 quarterback in the NFL, and that's somebody's fault.
I think they spent $245 million on the wrong quarterback, because the quarterback they really wanted was obviously Aaron Rodgers, because that was part of the deal. What they haven't done is incorporate any of what Russell Wilson does best into the Nathaniel Hackett offense. And I think Tom Brady said it the other day about bad play. I think it's indicative around the league. You look around the league at, you know, certainly on offense, you know, you look at the Rams, you look at Arizona, and we'll get into all of this. You look at Green Bay, you look at a little bit of Cincinnati. You know, there are teams around the league, and obviously the 2 teams last night, where offensively, just schematically, it's so bad. It looks so high school. Like the Arizona Cardinals offense is a high school offense being run by Cliff Kingsbury. But I just think that what I think Nathaniel Hackett has to do, because I'm sure it's Hackett, and I'm sure, I think they need to sort of get some of their video analysts to go and find like the 50 best plays that Russ ran in Seattle and incorporate them into that offense, because it's just not working. But it's also not working with spacing. It's not working schematically. I just don't like. You look at the Chargers last night. You've got the absolute weapon that is Justin Herbert. I know Keenan Allen is out, but it seems like their offense was predicated either on sort of quick screens or throwing the ball at or behind the line of scrimmage to Josh Palmer, and expecting Palmer to then, you know, either beat his man one-on-one or fall in behind a couple of blockers and try and pick up yardage. And I saw the stat line at one point. I think he had 9 catches for 50 yards, and you're just thinking, like, how is this? This isn't an offense that's working. I just think there's a knock-on effect around the league of just really poorly executed offensive play. But I think it comes back to the scheming, and I think that's exactly what's happening in Denver. I just don't think Nathaniel Hackett gets it. I don't think he gets how to get the best out of Russell Wilson. And I'm certainly not, you know, removing Wilson from any blame, but he started strongly. But you look at what they do with Jerry Jeudy, for example. You know, you go back and look at what Jerry Jeudy did so successfully at Alabama in terms of his play, in terms of his quick feet, in terms of his get off the line packages, his route combinations, the fact that, you know, you can work him underneath, a bit like Miami's done with Jalen Waddle, a bit like Philadelphia do with Devontae Smith. You know, you can incorporate some of those Alabama plays, the ones that Brian Daboll ran and Steve Sarkisian ran, to get the ball to Jerry Jeudy. It seems like every single snap, Judy's running 30, 40 yards downfield. It makes no sense to me. I just really don't understand it. And then they bench Melvin Gordon. And it's like, well, who's running the ball? Then there was a period of time when Russ was just sort of controlling the ball at the mesh point and then just setting off and running himself. And then they brought Mike Boone in all of a sudden, and Boone sort of caught every pass, had every run. It was just like, you know, he's not played for 3.5 quarters. It just feels like there's a real kind of, it just feels so discombobulated. But I don't think they're the only team that's doing it. I think you pick 8-10 teams around the league where just the play calling, the scheme, the switch releases, all of those things just aren't working. And I really don't understand what's happening in Denver. And they're just wasting, you know, because I don't think Russell Wilson became a bad quarterback overnight. I just think they're wasting whatever talent they have. And, you know, you look at the job that's being done on defense. That defense is absolutely outstanding, but the offense cannot. I mean, the defense is as good as there is in the league. The offense just can't get anything going. And I'm sure it's schematic rather than Russell falling off a cliff and it being, he's only 34. It's not like he's he's not 45 or something. He should still have good 5, 6, 8 years left in him. But I don't know what you think, Ollie, but I just thought they would, just felt so all over the place last night.